Okay, let's unpack this. We're looking at a document today that is deceptively thin. If you saw it on a shelf, it's just this flimsy booklet, monochrome cover, dense text. But if you were a certain age in the early 80s, or really if you've played any tabletop game since, this wasn't just a booklet, it was the gateway. We are doing a deep dive into Dungeon Module B2, The Keep on the Borderlands by Gygax. And here's where it gets interesting. It wasn't just an adventure. The source material says it was designed to be, well, a textbook.
Exactly. That is the crucial context. The cover explicitly calls it a special instructional module.
Hmm.
You have to, put yourself in that moment. It's around 1980. D&D is exploding. But it's a complicated, messy game. You've got thousands of new players and, more importantly, thousands of novice dungeon masters DMs who have no clue how to run a world. So B2 wasn't just a dungeon crawl. It was boot camp for the imagination.
Boot camp, I like that. Because the language Gygax uses in the intro, it's incredibly lofty. He doesn't just say, here's how to run a game. He calls the DM the shaper of the cosmos.
Shaper of the cosmos. It's heavy, isn't it?
It's terrifying. You're just a kid at a kitchen table, and suddenly you're responsible for the universe.
But it's necessary pressure. The text says the DM is above even the greatest of the players. It's about instilling responsibility. And the way the module does that is by setting up this perfect microcosm. A binary world. You have the keep, which is absolute law and safety, and you have the caves of chaos, which is absolute danger. It's a controlled environment to teach the DM everything.
So let's walk through that microcosm, starting with the keep. And reading the description, the first thing that struck me is this is not some cozy prancing pony style fantasy village. This place is strict.
It is a fortress first, a settlement second. And that's a key distinction. It sets the tone for law in early D&D. Law isn't necessarily nice, it's orderly. So when players get to the gate, they don't just wander in, they're stopped. Guards demand their names, and their weapons are literally tied into the sheaths.
That's such a massive signal to the players right away. It says you are not the heroes here, you are guests, and you are being watched. And the man watching you is the Castellan.
The Castellan is a great example of how the module teaches hierarchy. He's a 6th level fighter, which to a level 1 party, he's basically a superhero. He's described as honest, but maybe too hasty. But what I love is the storytelling in his quarters.
Oh, the loot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He represents the rewards of law. He has a silver chain of office, a silver mirror worth 300 gold pieces, a malachite bowl. He lives in luxury because he maintains order.
And in this version of the game, gold is status. But that order comes with some serious strings attached. The economy of the keep is brutal. Let's talk about the bank.
The loan bank.
A classic. You can get a loan, sure, 10% interest, but the security is what got me. The vault has locks with hidden poison needles.
Yeah.
And the mechanic isn't just, oh, you take some damage.
No, it's save versus poison or die.
Just die. It's a harsh lesson. You try to rob the bank, you might just die instantly. And it's not just the bank, right? The guild house is the same.
Yeah, if you're a merchant, you pay your 5% fees.
Yeah.
Cross the guild master, and the text says you'll have problems with fortress personnel.
So it's teaching the BM that you can't just murder the merchant and walk away. There are social consequences. Speaking of society, we have to talk about the tavern.
Of course. The rumor mill. It's how players get their plot hooks, but the module teaches the DM to be tricky. Not all rumors are true.
My favorite one has to be about the goblin language. There's a rumor that says Briark is goblin language for we surrender.
Which is completely false.
Right. Briark actually means, hey, Rube, or like, help me. So a player hears that, lowers their sword, thinking the goblin is giving up.
And then the whole goblin warren comes pouring out. It's brilliant. It teaches players not to trust everything. And that theme of don't trust appearances is woven into the religion of the keep, too.
Oh, this is fascinating. So you have the main chapel run by the curate. He's lawful, powerful, has a snake staff that actually turns into a snake. He's the good guy.
But then you have the visitor, the jovial priest.
He sounds so nice, loves a good story.
But he's chaotic and evil, a spy. He's there to find out which adventurers are heading to the cave so he can sabotage them. And the detail I love is that his acolytes have all taken vows of silence.
Which sounds holy.
But it's actually so they don't accidentally spill his secrets.
Diabolical. Okay, so eventually you leave the safety of the keep and head into the wilderness. And again, the module is teaching you that the world is dangerous.
It is. It's not empty space. You have the Mound of the Lizard Men, who are nocturnal. They hide their coins under their egg nest.
Makes you feel like a jerk for robbing them.
A little, yeah. But then you have the Mad Hermit.
The Mad Hermit lives in a hollow oak, has a pet mountain lion, To a new player, this screams quest giver. The wise old man in the woods.
But he's not a druid. He's a third-level thief who is completely insane. The text says he appears to be a holy man, but he will absolutely backstab the players.
Another lesson. Don't judge a book by its cover. And there's the spider's lair, a great little example of risk-reward. There's a skeleton in the webs with a filthy shield.
And most players would just ignore a filthy shield. Why bother? But the DM knows that if you clean it, it's a magical +1 shield. It rewards paying attention.
So you survive the hermit, you survive the spiders, you finally make it to the main event, the Caves of Chaos.
And this is where B2 really shines as a teaching tool. It looks like a ravine with a bunch of caves, but it's actually a complex political ecosystem.
It's like an apartment building where all the neighbors hate each other.
Exactly. You've got different humanoid tribes living right next to each other, all competing.
Let's start with the little guys, the kobolds in Cave A.
They're small, they're weak, and they know it. So they rely on traps. The text is specific. 10 feet inside their entrance, there's a pit trap. If you're not checking the floor, you fall in, lid closes, you're stuck.
And then we move up the food chain to the orcs. Now, there are two distinct tribes here in Caves B and C, and they do not like each other.
But, and this is the key, they do talk. The leaders of the two tribes have a secret meeting place, the Forgotten Room. They meet to discuss cooperation, and they even hide their combined treasure there.
Under a bucket of stagnant water.
Right, so they're rivals, but they're smart enough to team up against a bigger threat, like the players.
And then you have the goblins and the hobgoblins. This relationship is, it's just sad for the goblin.
It's pure exploitation.
Yeah.
The goblins in Cave D are described as hardworking, but not too bright. They're out stealing stuff, stockpiling food.
While the hobgoblins in Cave F, who are bigger and smarter.
They have a secret door connecting their cave to the goblin cave. And the text says they use it to steal the best food and drink from the goblins without them knowing.
So the goblins are doing all the work, and the hobgoblins are just taking the best stuff off the top. That's an amazing detail for a DM.
It's designed to be used.
Mm-hmm.
The module encourages you to use this information to divide and conquer. And the best example of that is the ogre in KV.
The mercenary.
Yes. He lives alone, but he works for the goblins. Remember that rumor about Briark?
The one that means help.
Right. If the goblins are in trouble, they shout Briark and toss a sack of 250 gold pieces to the ogre. That's his fee to come fight.
But, and this is the genius part, the text says the ogre is greedy.
He is. If the players see this happen, they can make a counteroffer. Offer him more gold, and there's a 90% chance he'll just take the money and go back to his cave.
That is a huge lesson. You don't have to fight the boss. You can buy him off.
It moves the game from just combat to actual problem solving.
So those are the local politics. But as you go deeper, things get less political and more just evil. We have to talk about the Minotaur.
Kivai. A big step up in difficulty. He lives in the labyrinth, of course. But as soon as you enter, you're hit with a confusion spell.
Which means you lose all sense of direction.
The DM is told to start lying to the players about which way is north. It's meant to create panic, while the Minotaur hunts you in a maze he knows perfectly.
And he's guarding some serious loot. A staff of healing, magic plate mail.
But it's hidden behind a stone slab that takes 3 people to move. So even if you beat him, you need teamwork to get the prize.
Then there are the bugbears in Cave H. They have the sign outside that reads, "Safety, security, and repose. Welcome."
Another trap for the unwary. It's a trick to lure people in to be captured as slaves. And inside, among the slaves, there's a rebel bugbear.
A rebel.
Yeah. If you free him, he'll actually fight against his own kind. Again, the module is giving you these unexpected allies.
But the absolute peak of evil here is the Shrine of Evil Chaos, Cave K.
This is the finale. The whole atmosphere changes. Red veins in the rock, you hear faint groaning and shrill piping. It's pure horror.
Full of undead, zombies, and skeletons. But the room that everyone remembers is the cell, room 64.
Ah, the cell. Probably the most famous trap in the whole module.
You look in and see a fair maiden chained to the wall. Scantily clad, it is the most classic rescue the princess trope you can imagine.
But she's not a maiden.
She is a Medusa.
A Medusa. The text says she's disguised, or at least you mistake her for a prisoner. If the party rushes in to be heroes, she reveals her gaze.
Save versus petrification or turn to stone. Just like that.
It's Gygax weaponizing the player's heroic instincts against them. It's cruel, but it teaches a hard lesson. Awareness saves you, not good intentions.
And the architect of all this is the evil priest. He's the dark mirror of the curate from the keep. He even has a snake staff, too. But his escape plan is brilliant.
It's true villain behavior. If the fight turns against him, he runs to a secret passage behind a wardrobe. But as he runs, he spills 500 gold pieces on the floor.
To distract the players.
Exactly. He knows adventurers are greedy. He's betting you'll stop to scoop up the coins instead of chasing him. He understands his enemy's psychology.
So let's circle back to the instructional mission of this whole thing. What is Gygax actually trying to teach a new DM here?
The core philosophy is neutrality. The text flat out tells the DM to be a disinterested party. You aren't trying to kill the players, but you aren't trying to save them either. You're the referee.
It also gets really granular about tracking time.
Yes, the difference between the turn, which is 10 minutes of exploration, and the melee round, which is 10 seconds of combat. That distinction has mostly vanished from modern games.
Why did it matter so much then?
Resource management. Your torch only burns for a certain number of turns. Spells expire. If you're not tracking time, the dungeon loses all its pressure. Time is a resource, just like hit points.
And the dungeon is reactive. Monsters are supposed to learn.
Right. If the players use fire, the monsters start using fire. If the players are noisy, the monsters set up ambushes. The dungeon is like an immune system that reacts to the players.
There is one final mechanic that I think defines this era of gaming more than anything else, and it's how you get experience points.
XP for gold.
Exactly. In modern games, you kill a monster, you get XP. In B2, the ratio is 1 gold piece equals 1 experience point.
And the XP for just killing monsters is tiny. You might get 10 XP for a goblin, but if you steal his chest with 500 gold pieces in it, you get 500 XP.
That completely changes the incentives.
It does. Combat becomes a fail state. Fighting is risky and gives very little reward. The smart play is to trick the ogre, sneak past the bugbears, steal the treasure, and get out. It encourages thinking like a thief, not just a warrior.
So, pulling this all together, why does this 40-year-old module still matter?
Because it respects the players by presenting a world that doesn't care about them. The monsters have jobs, rivalries, tactics. It teaches the DM to build a simulation, a cosmos, and then let the players crash into it.
And the module literally ends by challenging the DM to go further.
It does. The final notes say to build the towns and terrain which surround it. It gives you this perfect little seed and tells you to grow a whole world. It hands you the keys. It says, you're the shaper of the cosmos now. Good luck.
It's a fascinating look at the DNA of the hobby. Whether you're a veteran of the Caves of Chaos or you've never touched a D20, there's just so much to learn from how this microcosm was built.
Absolutely. It's a masterclass in open-ended design.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Until next time, keep your maps drawn and your 10-foot poles ready. You never know when you'll find a pit trap just inside the door.